Good afternoon, everyone. So this week, our topic is going to be envisioning our future and goal setting. So to help us start with that, please welcome from the Office of Student Success, our very own Pennie Reis and Terri Passow.
Not necessary. Oh, it works. Okay. Well, good. Oh, I almost said morning. I was only a minute late, so that's not too bad. Good afternoon, everyone. So if I haven't met you, I'm Terri. So I work in our Career Center here on campus. I get to help all of you in some way, shape, or form at some point in your process. That's a pretty cool promise, right? And
my name is Pennie. I am the advisor for all of the business major students. And if I'm not your advisor in your business, I'll eventually be your advisor. So over in academic advising.
that's perfect. So as Kelly shared, we're going to talk today kind of about the idea of envisioning what you want to head towards, specifically around the idea of goals and how we can use that to help you work towards achieving those goals. So as we get started today, we need 6 volunteers. You will have to come down up front, and ideally I'll ask you just a couple of questions about the experience you have while you're down here. Okay, yeah, come on down. I'm at 2. It's only a third of the way. If you don't volunteer, then I pick. Or I have my current volunteers bring a buddy with them. That helps.
I bring a buddy?
Yeah, you can bring a buddy.
You see that guy right there?
Which guy? Carl. Carl, where are you? Who's Carl? Carl, can you come be my volunteer? Do you have a friend? Pick a friend. This is what happens.
Can I pick another?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Elizabeth? Is this one of our drafted friends? Is Elizabeth?
No, she said no.
Oh, okay.
Where's
Come on.
muscles? Angela.
All right, this is definitely not the part of the day that's supposed to take this much time. I'm at 3. I need 3 more.
All right, you see that?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Wait, can we get this guy? That guy right there.
What guy?
The guy right there.
Jordan? Who's Jordan? Jordan says no. Oh, you're Riley. Okay. You could. You could. I just need one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Franklin? Franklin, you've been drafted. Do you accept?
Come on,
Yeah.
Franklin.
All right. So those of you in the audience, you can just hold tight. Our friends who volunteered up here are going to have 1 minute to accomplish a task we're going to give them right now. So you could cheer for them, you could anxiously await what comes out of this. It's all going to be lovely and wonderful, but you got to give them their minute, probably like 1 minute and 15 seconds by the time we give them their directions. And then we're going to decompress and talk some stuff through, okay? All right, 3 of you have to go stand by Pennie. Oh, we're playing guys versus girls. Okay.
Like a high school cafeteria.
Okay. This is yours.
All right.
This is yours. This is yours.
We are going to draw this object in 30 minutes.
Nope.
When I say go, the thing that's on your paper, oops, you're going to draw on this big piece of paper. Okay?
Oh, yeah. I need 1 more. It'll start together. Perfect. All right. Volunteers, you have 1 minute to accomplish the task you were just given. Yep. Nice and big. Go. Just go. Go. You draw. Should have started an actual timer, huh? Okay. Mission accomplished. 15 seconds. All right. Do we all have something on our piece of paper? We're feeling good. All right. You all take a step back so everybody can see a little bit more. Yeah. Nope, take your papers with you though. No one's judging. We're not judging any drawings here today. Promise me that. This is all part of the exercise. They didn't know what they were getting into, so I appreciate their volunteer or accepting their voluntoldness. So what happened as we gave the group's directions is that Pennie told the 3 students on her side that they needed to draw something. And I told the students on my side that they also needed to draw something. But the way that we shared that information was different. So far on the end, and you come closer to the middle. In my head, you two were given the same prompt. Did you draw the same thing? No?
No.
No, right? What did you draw? You drew a flower. What did your prompt ask you to draw? A plant. Does a flower count as a plant? Yes. What were you asked to draw? A tree. Does a tree count as a plant? Yeah, right? So in our heads, they should have theoretically come up with the same thing, but we were given different types of instructions, right? All right. You? Yep. Squish to the middle. Now here's an interesting case study, right? What did your prompt say?
Food.
Draw food, right? What did your prompt say? To draw pizza, right? So interestingly enough, we have some similarities here. We have 2 pizzas. We got some other stuff on this other one, but we have still a slightly different approach to, in our heads, the same type of prompt, right? All right, last, if you haven't gone out, switch out for me. Okay, on Pennie's side, what was your prompt? A shelter. And what did you draw?
I tried to draw a shelter.
A shelter. Like, what do you mean when you say shelter?
I tried to make sense, but
So you thought shelter more like a place someone would go for like assistance with being sheltered. Okay, and yours said? You were asked to draw a house. Again, a house would be a form of shelter, right? What we're doing with this example is offering the thought that goal setting with attention to detail, making things specific, all the things we're going to talk about today, they can lead us. If this was like a graded assignment, okay, obviously we're not doing a lot of drawing for graded assignments, but play along, right? If we were doing a graded assignment and the house and the pizza and the tree are what Pennie and I had in mind as your instructors, but all we did was tell you food and shelter and plant, and you do something totally different and that cut against you, that would be a challenge, right? It would meant we had not communicated clearly and we were losing track of what we were really aiming for, or we didn't have the same goal in mind, right? So it's a kind of interesting or fun way to just get things started, to show that the more specific we can be when we have some real solid kind of guidelines and direction in place, it can help us move ourselves towards the ultimate goal. Thanks, guys. You did great. You can keep your picture if you want. You can leave it if you want. You can leave it.
All right, we talked a little bit of goals already, like the small. You don't have a whole lot of plans there. We didn't give them a lot of focus to being focused. How many of you have ever gone to a state fair? Okay, what do you go to a state fair for? What do you see? Rides, what else? Food. Animals. Okay, those are like the 3 biggies, right? So this summer, I went to the state fair with my family. On the same weekend, Carol in the registrar's office also went to the state fair. We were not there the same day, but we both went to the state fair. She got back and she's like, Pennie, I went to the state fair. I did this and then I did this. And I tried this food and it was amazing. And then I tried this food. It was so good and blah, blah. And she's going through all of her things and I'm like, whoa, I wish I went to the state fair with you. Because that was not my state fair experience. I've gone to the state fair hundreds of times as well, much like Carol, and I knew some of our big things, like I knew that I wanted to get it to certain animal barns and all those pieces. But I also didn't have a great plan like Carol. And so instead, we were just kind of going along, and all of a sudden my 2 small children wanted to eat, so what did I do? I didn't look for the amazing food like that Reuben parfait that I had seen ahead of time but didn't look to see where it was. I just went, who has hot dogs? All right, give me some hot dogs and whatever else is there, and I'll just have this like so-so hamburger. And then we moved on. And so she had a much different experience than I did. And so think about your focus and your motivation. She was very focused. She had a plan. I think she had a map. I emailed her the other day and said, hey, tell me some of the food you ate so I can make sure I include the right stuff here. And she gave me a list of like 20 things. And then I said, thanks, this is great. Then she sent me another list of the things that her husband ate. Like, she is dedicated state fair goer. This is why I want to go with her. My plan was to have a decent day. There's also the progress and reporting. When you go to the state fair, there's so many things to see. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, what if we went over here? And so you drift that way. And then you're like, wow, that's really shiny and bright. Let me go over here. Oh, I'm getting a little hot. There's air conditioning. Let me go way over here to this part of the state fair. And suddenly I'm zooming around the state fair with my family. We missed the one thing that we really wanted to go to, which was the horses. We had a good experience, and one of my children started to have some heat issues. All because we were not focused and we were drifting. So think about that with your goals and goal setting. Make sure that you have a focus, make sure that you have progress, and that you are also finding your purpose and you're making sure that you're going through. So that way you can have a good plan and you're reaching the final outcome, not doing the state fair Pennie style, which will not happen again next year. I have way too many keywords up here. So first of all, there's long-term goals and short-term goals. I told a little bit about me in the state fair. There's another day that I absolutely hated as a student. Does anyone want to guess what my least favorite day is in the academic calendar as a student? Finals? Nope. What did I hear? Syllabus day. I hate syllabus day because I'd see the syllabus and all the assignments that are due and it'd be stacked, piled high. And then I'd start to panic like, oh, I gotta do all this for this class. Oh wait, and there's this class, I gotta do all these things. And all of a sudden I'm like, why did I do this? This is way too much. Until I remembered, it's not all due the next day, right? So if syllabus day or seeing everything that you have to do for your class is your long-term goal, it's your big dream. And then if we divide that out into short-term goals, we can divide that out into, oh, how about just the class assignment or this day or this week? And suddenly it becomes more manageable. Also, when you think about the class, that's probably really another short-term goal for something that's even larger for me as a goal or larger for you as a goal. And so the thinking about how that all lines up, having that short-term goal to the large-term goal. And then why do we break those into small steps? First of all, we're going to set daily habits. Does anyone know, on average, how many times you have to do something for it to become a daily habit? What's the number? Go ahead. 21 days. Nope. What? About 200? Nope, a little bit less than that. Higher than 21, lower than 60, or 200 you said? Oh, 2 months. Okay, 2 months. Yes, so that's what I thought you said 200. 66 days. So it takes 66 days to make it a daily habit. But once you make it a daily habit, because you've broken it down in smaller, it becomes much more manageable. Also, it's important to build momentum. Think of when you teach a small child to walk. You don't expect them to run across the room. No, they stand there and they like do this and they fall, and everyone around them is clapping, right? Because that's a success. And so they get up, they try again, they go 2 more little wobbly, thinking about it steps, we clap, and we've started to gain that momentum. And those small wins help them move forward and want to succeed. And then the final one is staying motivated. If you are struggling to do something, it's really hard if you're not motivated at the final picture. So for example, let's say I said you have to save $1,000 by the end of, or through a year. That's a lot of money, right? That's not necessarily easy. But if we broke it down to you have to save $3 a day for an entire year, you're actually saving $1,095. $3 a day seems much more manageable, right? And so you're working on building and staying that motivation so that way it's not a big deal. You can do it and you'll get your $1,000, but you're making it be much more easier for your success. So if you could turn to a neighbor and share one big goal and one small step you could take this week towards it.
everything, and then forgot it ready, and then I didn't hold on to it. Like, I was like, oh, whoops. Are you gonna ask them for, like, anyone to volunteer, or we just?
Probably should.
It's fine. I'm
These are
gonna
really
use.
hard to go through.
I realized I'm gonna use your example, like, syllabus day is your least favorite. As a to-do list driven human, syllabus day is my favorite.
Right.
Because while it can be overwhelming, I know exactly what I have to do, and I can start crossing stuff off immediately. So when we talk about tools, I was like, different tools will work for different people.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have one big goal and one short thing they're going to do this week to start it that they'd like to share? We've got some brave ones in the crowd. Maybe your goal was to be more out in the crowd visible. This would be a good opportunity to make that happen. Go ahead. Networking? And what's one thing you're going to do this week? Excellent. All right, that's perfect. So networking and joining the business club. We know what we're doing. Anyone else want to share? Yep.
I'll go. Grad school applications and making an appointment with Terri.
Yep, grad school applications and using that professional part of Terry's title and making an appointment with her. Terry, she's coming for you.
I'm ready for it.
All right. Let's go ahead, Terry.
Perfect. So Penny talked a little about the idea of like breaking big goals into smaller steps. And I want to dive in and kind of give you some strategy for how to do that. But before we go fully into that, I just want to show a video here that showcases out, well, we'll call them some unique talents. So just a little snippet here. Let's hope it works. You know? You know? Oh, now I know who can answer my next question.
Love me.
You're on.
In the middle of a cold, dark night, I heard a sound and I thought to myself, what was that? I got up and checked.
Gotta get to my favorite part, then I'll end it.
It was you walking out my door. You said you loved me just moments before. Why'd you lie? What the heck?
That's my favorite part. What the heck? Does anybody know who that is? Yeah. So it's Post Malone, for those of you who don't know. He made this video as a high schooler. Well, I mean, if we're being just bluntly honest with one another, I just wanted an excuse to show this to the world because I think it's delightful and hilarious. But also, we thought it could serve as an example of how starting with kind of the big dream in mind, but figuring out what all of those little steps you're going to take along the way, how that can really build towards success. Many of you probably didn't recognize this as Post Malone because it's not the same guy we see all over our TV screens, online, on our radios, however we're hearing, right? Have we all heard of Post Malone? But we didn't all know that was him, right? So the progress that he's made over time is the idea that we're kind of using as the jump start here. But I told you I was going to talk to you about strategy. Oh, it's going to come again. There you go. And so one of the most effective ways, and it's a function that you're going to be working through in your class through the rest of the week, is the idea of how to really work through the goal setting process in a way that can give you something tangible and actually work on and work towards, right? And so who's heard of SMART goals before? Did we do these in high school or in some other places? Sure, right? So SMART is an acronym that stands for the 5 things you see up there on the screen. And I'm going to walk you through them. I know they're up there, so you feel free to take some notes if that feels helpful. But I want to also just kind of walk you through those pieces and give you a couple of examples of like kind of how you put this in action. So it can be really easy for us to sometimes, not always for me if I'm being totally honest, but sometimes it's easy for us to think of like the big thing we want to have happen, right? But that can also be really daunting. So if I use as my example, because I told you now that I work in the career office, so I spend a lot of time working with students on internships, so I'm going to use that as my example. So some students will come to me and they'll say, I want to get an internship. That's a really good, big goal. That could be really, really daunting, right? There's lots of steps that come into play, and it's not very well defined. It's kind of like when we just gave sort of unwritten expectations to the students who got the general writing prompts. Like, if you don't know what you're going after and you don't know how to do it, you might end up really missing the mark. Where if we can put some strategies and some really tangible things in place, it has the potential to be a better outcome. So SMART goals give us a 5-step or 5-component, I guess, process to help refine our goals so that we can make more sense and more use of them. So we start with being really specific. You want to make sure that your goal is really well defined, that it has details that are going to keep you on track. So it might be, instead of saying like, man, I got to improve my skills, you focus on what you really mean. Maybe I'm a business-related student and I'm finding that in class I'm really struggling when we start to use Excel. And so instead of saying, I got to get my skills to be better, I have to say, I really got to figure out a way to work on building my Excel skills, right? Adding that specific component to it helps me be able to kind of work towards a more defined goal. Then we hit measurable, right? So the M is representing measurable, and what we mean when we say that is that you gotta have some way to kind of track your progress. Maybe you've set a goal, I know I have, whether I purposefully did it or it just kind of is like, oh, I think I wanna do that someday, but you don't put any way to kind of track your progress in place. It becomes hard to make sure you are making that progress or refine if you need to. And so saying something like, I should probably read more for my classes. I'm finding that I miss out on stuff. I got to read more, right? That's a little bit more. But if it's measurable, you might say, wow, when I take a look at everything I have to do, I probably got to read at least 10 pages a day to make sure I'm staying on track, right? Now I've put a measurable component in place. For people like me who are to-do list and checklist people, if that's any of you, this becomes really helpful because I can cross that box off when I've read my 10 pages that day, right? You also want to make sure that your goals are achievable. And so with that, you're thinking, I gotta know that I'm pushing myself to do something new, right? A goal is getting us to a new place. And so we know we have to be pushing ourselves, but we need to do it in a way that's really attainable. You may or may not guess this by knowing me or seeing me, but I'm not a big runner. It is not something I find fun or enjoyable. So if I today said to you, I'm gonna run a half marathon next weekend, or this coming weekend is the half marathon up in Appleton, I'm gonna run that. It's not a terribly achievable goal, right? I might be able to make an achievable goal that I want to run it next year, but then I want to think through the steps Pennie gave us is what are those short-term goals I can come into play. So maybe my achievable component for that goal is that I get ready for a 5K by the end of October. That's probably much more achievable and attainable, right? So thinking about those pieces and making sure that you've set yourself to have to strive for it, but in a way that you can actually accomplish it. We also want to make sure that goals are relevant. And so making sure that that aligns with your values, that it makes sense for where you want to go. Maybe something like if I want to work in healthcare someday, name the capacity, doesn't really matter. While I will always be a fan of like learning what else is going on around you, if I really want to work in healthcare, doing a job shadow at like Google in their analytics department is probably not going to get me very far working towards that goal. So it still might be something I'm excited about or interested in, but it isn't in the sense of achieving or working towards that relevant goal. You got to make sure there's a connection there. And then you also want to make sure that there's some time. There's a little connection here with the measurable part, but give yourself a timeline. How many of us have had something we needed to get done, but if we didn't have a pressing like time commitment or deadline on it, it's real easy to push it off to the side, right? Like this presentation. The content was all nice and set. I had all weekend to make sure the slides looked as pretty as possible. Do you know when I did it? Last night, approximately 9:45 p.m. Probably should have set myself a better goal that said maybe I get that done by Saturday night so I have time to connect with Pennie if I have questions, right? Well, luckily it worked out well enough. But, learn from my mistakes. So you want to make sure that you have a time commitment in your goal because that helps you stay on track. So if I go back, in the beginning I said we'll use an example, big picture. Instead of just saying, I got to get an internship, right? How can we think through all 5 of these components to make sure? So if I go back and work my way around the circle, instead of just saying I got to get an internship, my really clear and well-defined says, I'm a marketing major. That's what I really want to work in. So I want to make sure that my internship has a connection to marketing. So I've thought through the specific piece, right? Might even say, I want to work in social media content design or something like that. Even more specific, the better. I also want to know what measurable is. So if I know that my goal is to get to that internship stage, what are some of the steps I'm taking along the way? I think that I need to apply to at least 5 internships because I know I'm probably not going to get a yes from everybody, right? So I'm stealing myself ahead of time that there's something I can measure in terms of making progress towards my goal. It's also achievable, right? I'm thinking that I know what I have accessible to me. If I said I was going to submit 5 applications by the end of this week, might be a little rough, right? I have a big event on Thursday, I'm doing this today, I have baseball and volleyball tomorrow after, like it's all too much. But by the end of the semester, that's achievable. And that hits us on the time bound too, right? So I know I'm flipping, but there's gonna be overlap in here, but you wanna make sure you're thinking through. And then the relevant piece, if my ultimate goal is to work at a certain type of organization in that marketing capacity, then I'm keeping that in mind the whole time that I'm building the components of my goals and I'm working through. So my get an internship example maybe pivots to something like I'll secure a marketing internship for next summer, so summer 26, by applying to at least 5 internship positions before December 15th. See how it became much more tangible. I can measure, I can check things off my to-do list, I can track, see how I'm going. And added bonus, it's not one of the acronymed letters, but the other thing that can come into play when you've defined it in this capacity is that you can also try to get some people on your team, right? If that was really my goal, then I might go tell Pennie, this is what I want to do. And Pennie could check in with me in mid-October and say, have you started looking at those applications yet? Because I know you wanted to get them all done by December, or whatever it is, right? Does that structure feel like it makes sense? Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, now you get to do the work. I didn't bring it with me again. We set up the little clicky thing and I keep setting it over there and not going. Okay, so I don't know your sections, but you should, right? Okay, we're gonna practice. We're gonna put our skills into action. So what you're gonna do is look at the screen, figure out what section you're in, okay? This shouldn't feel like new information to you. 2 sections each. Look at the general goal that you were given there. And you're gonna work in a team of like 2 or 3 within your class, right? So we should hear chatter. And at least one of you needs to write down how you're gonna apply all 5 of the components of the SMART goal structure to refine your goal into being more specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay, so groups of 2 or 3 within your class, take your general and make it SMART.
They can save them. They don't. They can save them. You can. They'll be okay. Nothing else. We'll do an interpretive dance to float. Right? What they have to do is come up with questions for us. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. What's the hardest thing you've ever done? What'd you say? What's the number 1 goal you've ever worked on? Please don't walk us through the SMART goal steps of that. We out of here. We out of here. You got it? Yeah. Is your hand gonna, what section are you? H1. H1. So when I need the volunteer for H1, your hand's just gonna shoot up. Okay. You said you got it. Okay. No one wrote it down? H1. Oh, you have to get healthier. Okay. I look forward to hearing all about your plans. General poll, how are we feeling? Do you have your SMART goals done?
Do we need a couple more minutes? Are there groups still working? Yeah? Okay. Pro tip, if you didn't take it seriously when I asked you to do it the first time, it would be a great time to make sure you reconvene. Because one, I reserve the right to ask for volunteers to help us. And two, you have to work through this exact type of process later in the week. So doing it in the safety space of today's class only preps you for later in the week. So worth it. We'll do like another minute or two if you're finalizing up. What the heck? All right, I'll give you like 30 more seconds. All right, wrap up your examples. Make sure you've got your great notes jotted down. All right, in the spirit of keeping things fun, I don't know why this is terribly fun, but it feels fun. We're gonna start at the bottom and make our way up. So, we're section 5. Everybody in section 5, raise your hand. Who's section 5? In section 5, everybody raise your hand. Great, I need to know where section 5 is. And in section H2, raise your hand. All right, so I know where I'm looking. Your general goal was to save money, okay? I would love one of the groups of 2 to 3 tell me what you transitioned that to, how you hit all 5 parts of SMART goal, and what your ultimate goal ended up sounding like. Who's got it? They're all... Do you want me to bring you a microphone so everybody can hear you? Wouldn't that be fun? Yes! We can hold it far away. They just can pick it up gently. Okay.
So for specific, we made like save money for a new computer. So like a specific amount that we had to get to. So $1,200 is just the math, not.
And you kind of hit like a motivation too,
Yeah.
like you knew what you were saving for. Okay.
For the measurable, like get to like halfway or to a certain point by the next semester.
Okay.
Achievable or attainable,
Yep.
like $10 a week.
It's like someone taught you earlier today that saving a little bit of money every week gets to a big amount, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Pennie.
Relevant is one of the big goals is to make it through school. You need a computer for school. And then time-based is need it by the next school year.
Perfect. So you hit all 5. Did you piece it together into like a newly refined goal or not so much? You hit all 5 parts that it would just be like bonus points.
Not really.
I think I'm getting a phone call.
To be able to do assignments.
Yeah, this is the beauty of the fact that Teams is our phone now, everyone. I'm getting a phone call while we present. Isn't this fun? That was excellent. I'm just gonna see if I can end that quick. We're gonna just hang up on that person for now. Sorry. All right, we're back. So that group hit all 5 parts on save money. They were specifically looking to save money for a laptop. Anybody else have just an outstanding save money example from section 5? Yeah. Someone's got it.
Okay, we said saving $1,000.
Okay.
And then saving $125 each week. And then it's obtainable because we have a steady income. And then it's for college tuition. and then the time-based is in 2 months.
Okay, so you hit all 5 also. Still played out very differently, right? I know it's all a hypothetical example, but you had different motivations, your purpose, your drive, your vision might have been different what you were saving for, but you all hit those same 5 parts. Excellent, let's give a hand for 5 and H1. H2. All right. H1, where are you? H1? You already disclosed that. And where's section 4? Everybody in section 4, raise your hand. It's like the easiest part of audience participation you'll ever be asked to do. Okay, we're feeling good. So section 4 and section H1, we're getting healthier. Section 4, how are you doing it? Taco Bell.
Who's talking in section 4?
Yeah, who in section 4 has given me some kind of goal experience?
Whoever you want.
Okay.
Green shirt guy. Walk us through, and you know what? If you have questions about how to do it, we'll all help you if you need it.
All right. The specific is just to put more weight on.
Okay.
I mean, opposite of most
So
people.
Taco Bell is actually a viable option.
No, not like that. Not like that.
All right.
Measurable would just be to lift more and put more protein in your meals.
Yeah, right. There's something measurable. So if your goal is to put weight on for whatever reason, if that's what triggers you as being healthier in this example, then yes, you could weigh or track protein intake. Yep, perfect. Love it.
Attainable would just be like specific amounts of both the things I just said.
So, and you're also probably not going to put like 200 pounds on by Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Something relevant would just be like dining hall plans, what they provide. And then time-based would just be whatever time frame I want.
So you pick one.
Yeah.
Right?
So before the
And
season
remember, when we
starts.
go to relevant, like what you've said makes sense, right? That you're choosing like activities that are going to help you move towards that goal. But the other component of relevant is that idea of it connecting back to kind of that bigger picture, your values, your vision. So if that's what you want, is to be like, I don't know, some really buff, I don't know people's
Yeah, I just said
things. But yep,
5
it's
pounds before the season starts.
tied back. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. All right. H1, what are we doing? He's on it. Okay, so we're going the opposite direction. We're losing 20 pounds by January 1st. And so that's pretty specific. Is it measurable? Yeah, you can measure it. Okay, how is it achievable? Maybe we assume you've done your research and you find like that's an okay pace at which to lose weight. Okay, we've thought about it. Why is it relevant? How does this tie to our goals and our vision? Why is it healthier? You could be, right? Again, like I'm pushing you, but it's just to make sure that you're working through the exercise, right? You want to make sure that whatever you're choosing for those smaller steps tie back to that bigger picture that you're moving towards. And you have a time right there in place. You have a deadline right there. All right, H1 and 4, thank you. So you get clapped for, it's great. All right, section 3, where are you? Section 3, section 8. Where's 8? In the back. All right, who wants to go first, 3 or 8? 3, you're on. What do you got? Sure. Yeah. It's not what I was going for, but I'll take it. Okay, so you want to be a better student. Tell me more. Okay, what part of the goal is that, if you're going to study every night? So you want to be a better student, so instead of just being a better student, you want to get a better grade in your math class. Okay, and then we're going to study your notes every night. Okay, how about making it measurable? So we put an amount of time on it. Okay, perfect. And what about it being achievable and relevant, and what's our timeline for getting it done? So we've got a goal grade in a 2-week window, right? So we've got timely, we've got that, and if math is where we feel like we're struggling, when we kind of thought of that really general be a better student goal, then focusing in on our math class is going to make that make more sense. Perfect. All right, you were 3? You were 8. You're 3. All right, 8, what do you got?
So I said attend classes and go to classes, like go to your class on time while going to every single class.
Okay.
And then like for the entire year, your measurable would kind of be the whole entire year, whatever. And then for attainable, it's like achieving your goals. So I would say putting it like, so you would look better, if you get better grades, you would look better for your goal, or not your goals, your job in the future.
Yeah, so you're hitting the relevant piece by thinking like, this is kind of the small step I can focus on now to get to that bigger goal of a job when I'm done with school, maybe.
And then
Okay.
time-based kind of being like, for the rest of your time here, or even in masters, like turning your assignments in on time. And just
Perfect.
being there.
So yours was a little bit more spread out, but still applied the SMART structure, right? So that's a great example of how we're using still all 5 of the components, but instead of being a 2-week, I'm really gonna zone in on my math class like the first group, you're like, I'm gonna set some strategies and some habits now that are gonna help me all the way through. Love it. Perfect, 3 and 8, well done. Thank you. All right, we got 2 left. Where's section 2? Nobody over here. Okay, section 2 and section 7. 2 and 7. All right, 2, Penny's already up there. So 2, someone, show us what you're going to do to get more involved on campus. How are you going to refine that goal?
Yes, total, all 10.
You're good. Let us know.
So we said our specific goal was to join the pickleball club to get involved on campus.
So there's a specific club we're joining. Okay.
And then our measurable is making sure we attend one event, like at least every 2 weeks.
Okay. Yep.
And then our attainable goal was to sign up and just attend the meetings, like just to actually make sure we did it.
So you're going to have all the information you need. You'll know when your next competition, I don't know if that's the right word, but you'll know when everything's going on. Love it.
We said our relevant was to, as it's a way to get involved on campus.
Right.
And then our time is to contact the club in the next 2 weeks and then find the event times and meeting times.
Excellent, right? You hit all 5 of them. Awesome. What about section, what were they? 7? Year 2. Year 7. Year 7. 7, what do you got? I mean, someone's going to have to do it. I'll just pick someone. Oh, you know that I'm a parent, so when you put the finger on your nose, I automatically choose you. Not, he already volunteered. I'm not going to make him. Who? Ben picked one. Who? Oh, Brody. Brody?
Yeah.
I can't, I'm gonna have to scoot behind you because I didn't pull a lot of the string.
Thanks for being eager, Brody.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is great.
Wait, so.
What are you, oh, you're trying to get involved too.
Yep.
Tell us more.
Ours was going to like sporting events every week.
Okay. Why?
To make new relationships with people.
Okay.
And specific, that was it.
Okay.
Measurable, talk to like one new friend at every event.
Okay.
And then attainable, I think it's attainable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'll go talk to a new person every time?
Sure.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're talking to me today. You did great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relevant, yeah, it's relevant because then you can make new friends on campus and new relationships or stuff like that.
Sure.
And then time-based, just do it till the end of the year.
Okay.
Keep meeting.
Next year, you're like, forget this mess. I'm not getting involved in making new friends.
You could do it then too.
He'll know everyone.
Yeah. You'll know everybody by then.
Yeah.
If you've done it. Brody, thanks.
Yep.
You did great. Hey, clap for him. All right, I got 1 pair left. Where's section 1? Section 1. Where's section 6? Oh, we have 1 person in section 6? Yeah. Rocket. She, with gusto, was ready to raise her hand. I don't get to give out bonus points, but you get them, okay? Like, they don't mean anything, but I'm excited for you. All right, so sections 1 and 6 are managing stress better. So section 1, how are you doing it?
Okay, so for ours, our example was, over the next semester, I want to manage my stress better by not procrastinating on my homework, by getting it done at 8 every night, so I have an hour to myself after.
Perfect.
So for specific, we did less stress. For measurable, we did journaling to measure it. Obtainable, we did journaling so you can end it or like manage your time every night. For relevant, we did higher GPA. And then for time-based, we did needed by next week.
All right, perfect. Section, whichever one I didn't say. 1, 6. 6? Did you raise your hand because you have a great example? Sure. Oh, you could get lightheaded all the way up here. All right, lay it on me fast, because I'm realizing I talk more than I thought I was going to.
Okay, so manage stress better. It depends on what you're actually stressing about. So if you're stressing about like sports or like your mental state, for specific, we could say, let's say you want to exercise more because it relieves your stress. I'll exercise at least 2 times a week. And then measurable, you can track like the amount of weight you're lifting or like how much you do. And then realistic, I say 2 times a week for somebody who's struggling mentally is very realistic and attainable. Relevant, it's relevant to me at least, because for me, mental health is important and staying fit is also important. And then time bound, we could say, I want to exercise 2 times a week for 3 weeks.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to both of those classes.
You all have really good SMART goals and plan, but sometimes things don't work out exactly as planned. Expect setbacks. So for example, the pickleball group, maybe it doesn't work out. You need to adjust your times because when pickleball's happening is not a time that you're available. Or you break a wrist and so you can't play pickleball at the moment. That's not great, but you're going to be okay because you're going to find something else in the meantime, deal with the setback and then go forward. Staying flexible, adjusting your approach when it's needed. So thinking about like if you're in a canoe and the waves come, just because you know where you're heading and the wave pushes you to the right, doesn't mean you just stop. You just adjust and move forward. Focus on your why. Why is this important? So you might have missed a class because you were sick. That doesn't mean you don't go to class anymore. It means you just keep on going. You go back because the important part is you're going to do really well. And then, of course, building those support systems so that way you have those friends, family, instructors, whomever, who's going to help support you as you're working through your goals.
All right. So we also thought that maybe it would be helpful if we gave you a few tips. Now, if I'm being honest, you all covered a lot of these in the examples you gave us. So we'll kind of do a quick recap on a lot of them because some of the things we were going to offer are the things that you all came up with when you did that SMART goal exercise, right, or the practice. So there's lots of times where like we might not fancy ourselves planning people, but you got to figure out some way to do it. You just got to figure out the version that works for you. So like maybe you're a hard copy paper planner person. Maybe you're a calendar on your phone. Maybe you use your Outlook calendar. Somehow when you've come up with those measurable and time-sensitive things, you have to figure out how you're going to hold yourself accountable to that, and usually reminding yourself of what that time frame was is something that'll help you. Someone up here mentioned using a journal. That might be a way to keep track. Whatever it is, you have to find ways to not lose sight of the goals. Maybe you write it at the top of the page and you reflect on it underneath. The reminders also come into play there. And one of the other things that we want to make sure to hit is kind of tied to the idea of what Pennie just shared, is that sometimes your goals will just not be able to work out the way you originally planned, right? It might be from like a setback perspective, like what Pennie talked about. It might also just be that things shift and change for you. I used to be an academic advisor on campus and worked a lot with students in the health program areas, and often students who maybe had been nursing majors or rad tech or something like that started out in that coursework and just decided it wasn't the right match for them. It's not because they couldn't do it or they didn't like a person or anything like that. It's they just realized like, I don't think this is what I'm going to do. Like, this isn't what I want to be happy with. That doesn't mean you necessarily hit a setback. It's what my brain often refers to as a turn and learn moment, right? Where sometimes we also have to consider that like goals will shift and change over time. So the idea of like a regular review of your goals, both those big longer term ones and the shorter ones you have working towards it, will be really critical. Maybe you do hit those setbacks. You'll need the reviews to see what you need to shift and change. But it might also be that things change for you. And so as we wrap you up today, as we wrap you up today, we just wanted to remind you, we had a couple more things to tie in there, but in short, it's really just to remind you that like getting in here, thinking about the goals, working through that exercise, and then making sure that you're spending the time with them. So Pennie has a couple last thoughts for you.
Nobody should be packing up yet.
Kelly has some thoughts too. All of you saw Monty Washington last week. One person I talked to today talked about how, you know, when they saw him, they thought they could move mountains. Like he was amazing. The thing is you can move mountains, but you have to set the goals do the short-term goals to get there. So don't think, wow, that's amazing, I'm never going to do it. You can do it. You have that opportunity and capability. But know that you're going to have those setbacks. There are many people and examples out there that this is the case. Play-Doh was a company that was designed because of a setback. Hershey's chocolate setback. Think about Simone Biles. If she would have stopped after she struggled in the 2021 Olympics, you wouldn't have had her in the 2024, where she went to win 3 golds, and she would have just ended. Instead, she not only made it okay to come back, but she also made it okay for a lot of athletes to go, you know what, I need to take care of myself, and I need to take care of my mental health. And so she ended up being a role model for a lot of people. As you leave today, think about what gifts you have to give to the world, and then start those goals so that way you can build onto that and show what you were meant to give, okay? We are going to finish off with the last music video that Post Malone won. So Kelly is going to release you. However, as she releases you, we also have a music video for you to enjoy. Thank you, everyone.
Please give Terri and Pennie a round of applause.